Well, now it's 6.
It's one of those times where do I take the chance or not? And I figured in this situation, taking the chance with a bigger, how should I say, mallet over his head, because point blank is I'll deliver the consequences if he screws this up.
So that was Franklin County Judge Michael Holbrook, a white-guilted, idiotic judge who saw a repeat offender who is a member of the Kia Boys for multiple different Grand Theft Autos, carjackings, and all sorts of other crimes, and decided that he was going to give shock probation, much in the same way that this previous judge that we recently released a video on decided to go with shock probation, and of course was immediately rewarded with that man kidnapping people, stabbing one of them, and trying to initiate a bank robbery. Well, in this particular case, I'm happy to report that we have some kind of a happy ending. It appears that white guilt can only take you so far, and after this guy's 157th chance, the judge has finally decided enough is enough, and he dropped a serious sentence upon him. And this is what we're going to talk about today. But before we do, I want to thank everybody who supports this channel via actualjusticewarrior.com/join.
Give me the money. Give me the money. Okay?
Well, that was Franklin County Common Pleas Judge Michael Holbrook telling our Lacey Crisp in March why he decided to sentence a teen to community control instead of serving time behind bars. For years, 10 TV's Lacey Crisp has been warning you about the Kia Boys and how to keep your family and your property safe. Well, today, one of those Kia Boys was back in Judge Holbrook's courtroom, now facing a nearly decade-long sentencing, a shift in tone for those looking to steal cars.
So the local news presenter gives us an idea of what's been going on in this judge's courtroom and what's been going on in this area of Ohio, which is plagued by Kia Boys style thefts, which of course are done for fun, are done for entertainment, and lead to deadly consequences often enough that they should be a matter of concern. But like in many places post the Black Lives Matter riots of 2020, this area of Ohio has decided to institute a bunch of woke criminal justice reforms. They've decided to elect people who are soft on crime even to the judiciary. So time after time, despite the fact that the crimes keep escalating, they end up getting slaps on the wrist. They end up getting treated like innocent Beba Angel Aladdins who are just stealing cars in order to feed their starving family, or as was once said, no joke, by Jessica Burbank, they're stealing cars because you need cars to go to the grocery store to buy food for their family.
Why are we seeing an increase in carjackings? I mean, we saw an increase in the price of used cars and trucks go up by 40%. That's a very high number. I think people are really struggling to afford cars, and it's really sad because you see the main contributing factor of this to be markups done by dealers of 35 and 65%, and you see them raking in record profits. So as the price goes up, their profits go up as well. They're not just accounting for, an incurrence of production cost. They're just raising the price as a part of their regular dealership markup, and people are really struggling. They need cars to go get groceries, go to work, what have you.
Now that's the dumbest explanation I've ever heard to date for why kids do carjackings, and if you ever find yourself arguing against somebody who makes that counterpoint to you, just call an ambulance because they have brain damage and they need some serious medical help, and it would be shocking if there wasn't something immediately fatally wrong with an individual who makes that point. However, in this particular case, we actually have something even more shocking because we are used to these judges making these ridiculous rulings, whether they be motivated by wokeness or white guilt or, both, if we're being perfectly honest, just never talking to the press, never owning up to their decisions, never owning up when they backfire. But in this particular case, the judge has admitted that he was wrong. His white guilt meter has finally run empty. The well is dry.
Judge Holbrook told me he screwed up when he gave Akeem Benjamin one more chance and in March sentenced him to community control. Well, today, Holbrook sent Benjamin to prison.
Look, we're going to hear a little bit later from this judge admitting that he was wrong, admitting that it was a bad idea to give this guy probation, despite the fact that he is an ongoing repeat offender. But I think it's important to hear from the suspect's mother because the suspect's mother has a completely different take than many of you are expecting.
This was Mom, Tiffany Hammond, back in 2023, begging for judges, for his own good, to punish her son for stealing cars.
I've been begging and pleading. Please arrest him. lock him up, do something that's going to make him pay for the things that he's out here doing.
Now, look, I want to give the judge some credit for eventually coming to the right conclusion, for eventually sentencing this person based on his lengthy criminal history to an appropriate prison term. But when you have the boy's mother showing up to court, begging you to hold her son accountable because she understands that if you keep giving him no consequences, he's just going to keep committing crimes, and you still think that your white guilt takes precedent over that, you're a problem. You need to be removed from the bench. It's nice to see a bit of a turn from this particular judge on this particular case, but in reality, I think it's too little too late. This judge needs to go, and apparently a lot of judges in this county need to go because we see terrible decision after terrible decision coming from the judges on the bench over here, and I've had enough of it. But again, let's hear what happened after the judge, ignored the pleas from the mother to lock her son up.
A month after that interview, Benjamin was shot while trying to steal another car. Last May, he was arrested in back-to-back days in Whitehall for his role in stealing cars and ramming into an undercover detective's vehicle.
So look, the mom wanted him sentenced to a lengthy sentence for his own good. After she gave that interview to the news media, he tried to carjack somebody, ended up getting shot for his trouble, and then he was subsequently arrested in back-to-back incidents, and in one of those instances, he ended up crashing his car into an undercover detective. Obviously, this kid was a problem. Obviously, this kid was not only a danger to others, but a danger to himself. And despite the pleas from the mother, the warnings about the danger that her son was in and what she thought was for his own good, this judge still gave him a light sentence. This judge still gave him probation. This judge was like, oh my God, my white guilt heart has grown 3 times the size of normal. So what I'm going to say is that you're an innocent Baba Angel Aladdin who is only stealing cars in order to feed your starving family, and for whatever reason, a member of your starving family, your mother, who's not starving at all whatsoever, keeps telling me that I need to lock you up, but I'm not going to listen to her because what would she know? I'm going to give you probation because I think I like the cut of your jib. I think you happen to be a gentleman and a scholar whose kindness knows no bounds. Hey, why are you breaking into my car right now and driving away? What the hell is going on? This was the process that the judge went through.
In March, Judge Holbrook sentenced Benjamin to community control.
And we're caught up into the game. Now, I was told by the prosecutor no one was hurt. That was important to me. If someone had been hurt, it had been a different decision.
Look, this judge is an idiot. Let's just be clear about that. He may have ultimately come to the right conclusion after he was embarrassed publicly by the media, but he's an idiot. This guy stole cars multiple times. At one point in time, he got shot for his trouble, but in another instant, the one that he was looking at, he stole a car and then crashed it into a police detective's vehicle. And the fact that nobody was hurt is a by the grace of God kind of moment, because guess what? Somebody could have easily got hurt. This idea that we have to let behavior that we know is dangerous go on repeatedly, time and time again, and wait for somebody to get seriously injured or killed before we intervene is absolutely absurd. You want to know why Baltimore is experiencing lower than normal homicides? It's because they got a prosecutor over there called Ivan Bates that replaced the Black Lives Matter prosecutor Marilyn Mosby, the one who was indicted for corruption, by the way, and he actually prosecutes people who commit crimes with firearms, whether they be robberies, carjackings, whatever. He prosecutes those people, and he does this under the premise that if you commit crimes repeatedly while carrying guns, while using guns to commit said crimes, eventually that gun is likely to go off and then there will be a homicide. So he has this crazy idea as a prosecutor, again, in Democrat-controlled Baltimore, that if you prosecute the people for the gun crimes, you go after those people, then you could reduce the homicides. And guess what? Ever since he's been in office, homicides have gone down in the city of Baltimore. Spoiler alert, prosecuting crimes that are inherently dangerous or repeat criminals reduces future crimes. This guy is an absurd buffoon. He should never be a judge. He's like, well, yeah, he stole multiple cars, crashed a bunch of them, crashed into a vehicle this time, but nobody was hurt yet. Nobody was injured yet. I mean, he could have easily crashed into a pedestrian or killed somebody in another vehicle. That's already happened multiple times, killed himself. But as of right now, as of this moment, in the dozen or so car thefts that we know about, he hasn't killed anybody yet, so no big deal. And that's what really impacted my decision, because I'm an idiot, white guilted judge. Those are the parts of the quote that didn't make the interview, by the way.
In July, Benjamin violated that probation by being kicked out of a program.
It's time to grow up, man. Face life and realize we're society.
And was back in front of Judge Holbrook today.
He can't get caught up in this crap he's been doing. This isn't a video game.
Despite the judge's admonishments, Benjamin did not say anything in court.
So the judge is like, man, it's time to grow up. This ain't no video game. This ain't a Game Station 5 game. And he goes on this rant that honestly is clearly falling on deaf ears, because you have this guy just expecting to get another free pass. In addition to that, I will also point out that his attorney, likely his public defender, is actually an attractive lady. And I can't say for sure that that had any impact on the judge's previous rulings, but I do believe I spotted a subtle stop stimping bumper sticker on the judge's bench that can be visible in certain lighting. Let me just punch in on that for you guys to see.
You and I talked last time when you gave him community release, and you said, I have hope for him. How'd that work out?
Didn't work out well, did it? Here we are.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys, but the way that that reporter asked the question to the judge and his annoyed response that the reporter has no respect for him at all whatsoever had me cracking up when I first heard it. Again, it's like, hey, you said in your previous court hearings that you had a lot of hope for this young man. You called him a promising future scholar, a potential astronaut, somebody who might colonize Mars. Well, how'd that work out for you, dumbass? Like, that's the tone in the question. And the judge, clearly and obviously, not a fan of that. He's like, well, I guess it didn't work out. Thanks for making me feel like an idiot. But the thing is, you need to feel like an idiot. We need public pressure on these judges so they could be removed from office or voted out of office or some such thing. It could be done in order to stop them from participating in the same exact behavior, because this needs to stop.
Holbrook explained he sees a lot of teens like Benjamin in his courtroom, and he tries to set up programming so they don't return. He was frustrated Benjamin didn't take the last chance he was offered.
Disappointed to see him come back. He tried to give him guidance. You were in the courtroom. I talked to him at that time and explained what my expectations were. And didn't seem to work.
So look, the judge finally admitted that he's wrong. He finally administered an appropriate sentence, and I am happy to hear that. I'm glad that this is the ultimate result. But he says that he's disappointed, and for me, this is like if you don't flush your toilet for days, you being disappointed that your bathroom smells like crap. It is obviously the consequences of you going soft on him, because guess what? Many a judge, many a time, has gone soft on him, and it didn't stop him from re-offending. But you know what? Those are just my thoughts. Maybe you guys out there in the audience have white guilt meters that are not quite empty yet, and you think he is an innocent babe Angel Aladdin, and you want to explain why you think this judge did a good job before this in the comments below. As per usual, if you like this video, show them by leaving a like, subscribe for more content, follow me on my social medias, support me via the support links in the description of this video. This has been me talking about a white guilted judge finally learning his lesson. Till next time.